How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, I just want to thank all of the people that continuously support the channel. I know it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on, but I promise you there's always a lot going on, especially for those hanging out at the Twitch when we're streaming. We're streaming all kinds of things together. If you guys want to be a part of that kind of community, check out the Twitch link below, located in the description below. Otherwise, feel free to also consider hitting, smashing, destroying that like button at the same time considering the subscribe button. Promise you, every last little bit of detail counts. Every last bit of little detail of clicks supports this channel in every way, shape, or form. In addition to, feel free to check out the Twitch link in the description below. But without further ado, let's jump right into the point of this video. Right here, right now, what I have for you all is my Salamangreat deck profile. The way this deck I built, the way that I played is a little bit different than what you usually see. I actually had a buddy of mine that was kind of getting annoyed because I wasn't doing the play that he was expecting me to do. And I think this build right here can definitely provide some level of sass, some level of opportunity of success. And I think this right here can really be devastating when done properly. But enough talk about it. You guys want to see what is in this deck so that way you can understand the amazingness that I am talking about. Ready? Here we go. One, Gazelle. If you're not playing Gazelle, you're not playing Salamangreats. This is basically a foolish build. Every freaking thing in this deck. If you're not, like I said, if you're not playing Gazelle, you're not playing Salamangreats. Why wouldn't you want to play a Gazelle at the most that you can play it? Which, by the way, guys, you can only play one Gazelle because banless. Woo! Now, usually with Gazelle, what people do with it is they send Spinny. Now you want to run 3 Spinny. It's completely obligated. You can't run anything less than 3 Spinny. If you're not running 3 Spinny, you need to throw this deck out the window and let somebody else play the deck for you. Spinny basically spits himself back out from the grave. He also, people sometimes forget about this, he also gives Salamangreat monsters an extra 500 attack. So like he can also be the reason why you could win. So why wouldn't you play him? Hello? Come on, guys. Just kidding. Aside from him, you have 3 Foxies, basically your pot of duality. 3 Foxies allows you to kind of dig into your deck a little bit, and at the same time retrieve Salamangreat cards from the top 3, shuffle the rest, and it does not have the same poly duality restrictions. It actually allows you to special summon however many times you want. Isn't that nifty, right? The next thing here, 2 Jack Jaguars. I presented that super weird. Let me flip this right here. Awesome. 2 Jack Jaguars. I used to play one a long time ago, like once upon a time. I used to play only 1 Jack Jaguar. It was really weird. Well, it wasn't weird. It was actually pretty fine. It was okay until my opponent decided to banish my Jack Jaguar, and that was a sad day. It was a sad day for me. It was a great day for him. I still won though because awesomeness, right? Jack Jaguar basically spins himself from the grave back out into the field. It also allows you to shuffle, so kind of recycle resources as well. So why wouldn't you want to play him? He's also the go-to play from the Stalio. Moving on, 1 Falco. I used to play 2. Didn't really see that I needed to, so I dropped him down to 1. Falco, basically when it's sent to the grave, you get to set any Salamangreat spell or trap card. If you have the trap cards in the grave, logically you want to set those, and he's super clutch when you send him using Gazelle's effect during your opponent's turn and you already have that trap card, preferably Rage, in the grave. So that way when your turn starts and you're like, oh, I gotta get rid of a problem, you just slap open that Rage and call it a day, right? 1 Beat Bison. I don't think anybody really plays Beat Bison in their builds. At least from the builds that I've seen, I haven't seen them in there. I like Beat Bison because for a couple of reasons. 1, he's big boy muscle. 2, he shuffles your link monsters, fire link monsters, back into the extra deck, so that way you can shut off your opponent's monster effects. Why wouldn't you want to play something like that? You get to rebirth your resources and turn off your opponent's resources to be able to keep you from playing the game. Hello? Come on, guys. The state of the game, the state of the format is always about trying to still play the game. If this guy can help you get there, why not use him? 1 Sea Archiver. I've heard of this card. I've stumbled across it. I know what this card does. It's really decent. I like it, but I mean at the same time I haven't really like used him or her or whatever the seahorse is. It basically, for those of you guys who don't know, it special summons itself from the hand or the graveyard when a monster is summoned to a zone that a link monster is pointing to, but it banishes itself from the field once it leaves the field. It's basically it's just a free body on the board. One Lady Debug. When you're playing Salamangreat, you want to play as many ways to get to Gazelle as much as possible. Normal summon her. You get the search. Ooh, I keep burping. And as I've mentioned, Flame Buffalo, you want to get as many opportunities to get into the cards that you need. Flame Buffalo, not only is your pretty solid, straightforward, I'm going to +1 by searching one card, drawing 2 more type of deal into the bailing. So you chain block and all that good stuff. I only play him at 2. I like the ratio of him being at 2. I mean, like I see him often enough, but at the same time I don't see him too many times. So it's kind of like one of those balance things. I guess you can say it's a player preference, right? One Reclusia. I don't think anybody's really playing Reclusia anymore. I still play Reclusia. Used to play him at 2, but I cut him down to 1 just so that way I can try out the CR Achiever. I like Reclusia a little bit more. It kind of does something similar to what CR Achiever does. It basically spits itself out into a zone that a link monster is pointing to, and at the same time I can pop itself and pop 1 card to your that my opponent controls. So that's why I kind of lean a little bit more towards Reclusia than I do with our Achiever. And then 3 Ash Blossom, because Ash Blossom. All right, now into the butter part of the bread and butter. These spells, I have 1 field spell. Believe it or not, if your opponent gets rid of the field spell, it is not the end of the day. I only run 1 because 1 is enough to get you going. In my opinion, this deck, at least the way that I've got it built, the way that I've got it, that I kind of play it, it's not too like heavily reliant on the field spell. It's not like I said, it's not the end of the day if your opponent like pops it, banishes it, or anything with it. It's kind of like one of those things where it's an extender, but it's not vital, right? 1 Salamangreat Circle. It's basically the road of the deck. It's basically the extra crisp, the toast, the burner that really gives you that extra pizzazz and the flavor. Basically gets you that extra search if you need it. Will of the Salamangreat. What can I say about this card? It's basically like a free monster reborn. It's whether it's coming from the grave or from the not from the field. You can't summon a monster onto the field from the field. That's ridiculous. Come on, guys. Anyways, summon a monster from your hand. It's also like a soul charged, whatever reincarnated link rating that the link monster has. Like let's say it's Sunlight Wolf and you go into another Sunlight Wolf using a Sunlight Wolf that's a link to this reincarnated. Yeah, Will of Salamangreat. You send this card to grave, you get to special summon 2 monsters from the grave. And I usually use this to get into Boral. This is basically like one of the ways you can win. I wouldn't say it's like a win condition card though. It's more so like it's a great extender and it'll definitely keep you rolling. It'll get the heart pumping. And then this one's a new one. I didn't know this card existed until like a month ago when I actually pulled it by accident. Wasn't that a story? But basically what this card does is I get to retrieve 2 Salamangreat monsters from the grave, add that back to my hand. If this card is set on the field and is destroyed while it was set on the field, I get to actually search a Salamangreat spell or trap from the deck. This card is actually pretty insane. It's actually pretty good. I only run 1 because I only have 1. But running it at 1, I also feel like it's good running it at 1. Like, you kind of also want to keep some Salamangreats in the grave, but at the same time, if you need to get something going, this will help you get going by recycling all the resources that's in the grave back into your hand. So, one-time passcode. See the pun I did there? Ha 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 ha. Anyways, basically a free Cyber's token goes into the bailing, so it allows you to basically preserve resources as well. Gives you an extra bond on the board, all that good pizzazz. 1 Reasoning. Yes, everybody, like the moment people see a Salamangreat, they're all going to call 3. We get it. But this deck strives in the grave and on the field and in the hand, so it's a win-win situation with this card. You can't really go wrong with this card. I think the deal with this card is you also have like the Falco, the Jaguar, as well as the Beat Bison. So like So people are going to be like 3, and then you could surprise them with a level 4 or a level 8. I think Beat Bison's level 8. And then boom, you got a big boy on the field, and you can also shut off their effects. You can still always go into extenders and all that other good stuff as well. So that's why I run this card. Then, of course, you have the Foolish Burial package. Salamangreats live in the grave. Why would I not want to run a Foolish Burial? Now, what about Foolish Burial goods? Every freaking Salamangreat spell and trap card you can retrieve using either Falco or Sunlight Wolf's effect. Why wouldn't I want to speed up the process of gaining access to those cards? Gaining access to cards in this deck it's not just searching the card or drawing the card. You can just mill the card into the grave and then retrieve it from the grave. So why wouldn't you want to run this card? This card is actually super insane in this deck, and I fell in love with it. But that's it for the spells. On to the traps. Believe it or not, I actually have quite a healthy number of traps. I have the Salamangreat traps, the common ones that you always want to run. I got Rage, Roar, self-explanatory. Pop a bunch of stuff. Solemn almost everything. Your goes in match, you're practically playing all fire minus the Archiever and Lady Debug, but those are only one of, so it's going to be kind of rare that you see it, that you run into them. And at the same time, when you get to them, you probably wouldn't even need them anyways, especially if this card's on the field. And on top of that, you always do your stuff. I was trying really hard not to hiccup or burp during that presentation of the goes in match, but I couldn't make it. Anyways, by the time you have this card on the field, you set it and you just want to do all your stuff before even activating it. So logically, it's not even going to phase you, but it phases your opponent so heavily, especially during the Sky Striker matches. Arguably, Thunder Dragons, you got to do that one a little bit timely. Otherwise, it wouldn't really affect them. What else does it really hinder? I mean, I guess you could say it hinders Orcus. All of those stuff. It's all about timing. 3 Compulse. I love this freaking card. This card, I cannot tell you how many times it's come clutch for me. But this card is one of your supporting saving graces as well as goes in match. Those 2 cards are definitely going to be the reason why you keep your opponents in check. Speaking of keeping them in check, Anti-Spell Fragrance. I only run 2 because a couple of reasons. 1, I only have 2. 2, I don't have space in my deck to be able to add a 3rd one. And 3, I think a ratio of 2 cards for a deck like this, I think it's perfectly fine. You don't want to draw too many of these kinds of cards, especially trap cards. You kind of want to draw just kind of enough to be able to help you get you started, and at the same time be a huge hindrance to your opponent. So, and then to top it all off, the last 2 cards of the deck, 2 Torrential Tribute. It's absolutely insanely hilarious when you catch your opponent off guard, especially with when you have Balings in the grave. You just can't protect your stuff. And just get rid of your opponent's stuff. I cannot tell you how many times. This card was the reason why I won locals. I don't remember how long ago, but it was also the reason why I had a good laugh about a week or so ago when I played against a friend with this deck. So that's practically it for the traps. On to the extra deck. 2 Balings, self-explanatory. It's the Field Spell Searcher. 3 Sunlight Wolf. If you're not playing any Sunlight Wolf, let alone 2 at the very least, you're not playing Salamangreats. This is the card that helps you with your recurrence. This is the card that gets you the motion that you need to get to. This is the card that's the coup de grace, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, all that kind of deal. 2 Heat Leos. This spins back row cards. This also does you quite the justice when it comes to muscle and trying to reduce your opponent's monster's muscle. So I run 2 of them just for those 2 reasons. At the same time, his spinning back is not a once per turn, so I get to spin back my opponent's spell and trap cards multiple times, especially with Beat Bison. Woo, call it a day. This one's gonna look and sound a little bit weird, but Proxy Dragon, Linkuriboh, and a Nightmare Phoenix. I use these 2 when I'm using. Well, I use technically this one when I use Scapegoat, I guess you could say. This is kind of like a weird way to explain it, but I use all of those cards to get to Boral, basically, and then it's Phoenix. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play Phoenix? But yeah, like it's a weird one of, I don't remember how to, like, I don't remember, nor do I know how to efficiently explain it, but once it really happens, oh boy, it's the end of the day. And then one Saryuja, it's just kind of like I had the wiggle room. I mean, why not? Um, Everybody knows why you'd want to play, why you would want to play Saryuja, so play him. Two Stalios, it's a free summon, it's a free kind of like spin back and pulse type of deal, because you're gonna use him to link into Salamangreat monsters anyways, so why not? And then the Abyss Dweller for all the Orcus fans out there. That's practically it for the main deck and the extra deck. The side deck is just kind of something I'm still working on. One Raigeki, two Twin Twisters, two Barrels from Different Dimension, one Mind Control, one Scapegoat, like one Ghost Ogre, another Reclusia. I wasn't kidding when I told you I used to play two Effect Veilers, two Skullmeisters. This one's definitely new, and I actually kind of like the fact that I'm playing them. But Artifact Scythe, the side deck is kind of a little sloppy, but it's a general idea that I'm kind of going for. So that's that for that. But that's about it. Fall in love with my Trickstar token here. That is the Salamangreat deck that I love playing in recent times. And I think that this deck will definitely do something once you add the flavor that you guys are looking for. But enough of all of that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you wish to see more content like this, feel free to smash the subscribe button. Hit, destroy, hammer, everything about that button. And then I will see you all. I'm trying to like recreate presentation here. I will see you all in the next one.